What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. In today's video, we'll also be looking at the current coin market cap, as well as obviously technical analysis in regards to the chartings, because we are starting to see some cryptos actually move up to higher levels, which is honestly huge news. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing, turning on post notifications, leaving a giant thumbs up. We'll be doing a giveaway at 12,000 subscribers. Otherwise, guys, let's jump right into today's video. So, as you guys can see, we're not going to be doing a article in today's video. I don't think there is much positive news out right now, or really current news that really needs to be shared. So we're going to spend a little more time today on doing technical analysis and the charting, a little more in depth than normal. You can see the market cap is 255 billion with a 24-hour volume of 46 bill, and a Bitcoin dominance is 69.6%. As I scroll down to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, you'll notice majority of the coins are in green, except for Tether. Tether is the only one that is really down, but really not by much. It is a stable coin at currently $1, which pretty much stays like that the entire time. But to more important cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin 9,900, honestly at the verge of retesting $10,000. We then see a couple other cryptos like Litecoin still in the number 5 spot, catching up somewhat to Bitcoin Cash, still down by 1 billion, which is a pretty big leap to beat Bitcoin Cash back into the number 4th spot. But majority of the cryptos are up around 2 to 3% out of the top 10. You'll notice most of the coins after the dip did fall quite a bit and then consolidated out, and usually this is the pattern that we see within most of the cryptos. After consolidation happens, we start to see the opposite, which is a slow correction back up to where we previously fell from. So Bitcoin has taken the biggest leap, followed by Litecoin and then Ethereum. But for the most part, the coins are starting to, trade back up to higher levels, or are finishing their consolidation for the rest of the coins. But for the most part, the markets do look great. We're starting to see that consolidation, which is needed, and we're really not down by much. There's no, crazy downfall like we saw in the previous days and the previous episodes. So to swing on over to Bitcoin's charts, I want to show you guys what exactly is happening. So what's interesting to note is there is a support, which I don't know why I didn't draw in right here. So I notice we have two double bottoms right here, or a double bottom, or a bottom and a bottom equaling a double bottom, and you'll notice that is exactly what we bounced off of. I did not see that support. If we did break this and fall to a lower level, it would most definitely be the $8,800 region, which wasn't retested, which is nice. So with this downfall, we did lower our RSI to 37, and we are starting to pull back up. We did have a support right here and a small death cross on Bitcoin's daily, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but what's nice to see is the fact that consolidation is happening and we're starting to see that retracement upwards. So we were battling a pretty strong resistance up here at around $10,000, which was being held quite well. And you'll notice we unfortunately did fall and break the support that we had at the high-low middle moving averages, pulling us down to levels as low as 9,300, 94. What we're starting to see now is the consolidation back upwards, and this is where it's going to be interesting, and where I want to really spend a lot of time checking out and tracking the prices of crypto, mainly because the fact that we broke through such a critical support, and we did now are retesting resistance. So this is going to be a strong resistance, as well as right here. So these two levels are going to act very negatively potentially. The great thing is we did manage to break through this resistance right here, which is a huge milestone and a huge step. Usually when we break through resistance, we end up, hanging out really low and don't have the potential to break to higher levels. But the fact that we did manage to break through this resistance does act as a support now, and it's a huge support that should help potentially Bitcoin and the other cryptos move up to higher levels. So we are going to be most definitely retesting this downtrend, which you can see has had some problematic zones for quite some time now. So this is going to be the first wave of resistance right at around 10 grand, 10,300. If we do manage to close a candle above there, we should eventually head back up and get back into our uptrend, which is really the important thing and what I'm looking for. So which I do think is going to happen. I do think we're going to pull back up. I think we're going to see a potential retest at 10,800, and then we should be able to break back into this ascending triangle and pretty much complete the wave, which is going to be great. That's the best thing and the best outlook that I plan on seeing. So once we can break this resistance right here, the strongest one, we'll be able to trade back in here and then complete the ascending triangle that we've had over Bitcoin, and inevitably potentially retesting as high as 12,600. So to see the start of this uptrend is great news. It pretty much called the bottom on all the cryptos, and they should all start heading up already or are in the near future going to start heading up to those higher levels. So now to just jump out and look at the weekly, you'll notice the weekly doesn't look too bad. You can see where we're starting to have support right here. This was my support guess at 9,400. We are quite high compared to the high-low middle moving averages on the weekly, which I'll show you compared to Litecoin is kind of really off. But the fact that we're consolidating out now, the fact that we're starting to see some sideways movement is great. This was almost a double bottom, but I do think we will be getting enough support to break back into here. So I do think I want to move on from Bitcoin right now. Check out Litecoin. So Litecoin is definitely going to be one of the most interesting cryptos to watch because there is an interesting rally ahead. So a couple of things to point out for those of you who are new is we do have a bottom right here at $31. 31 on the RSI, which is extremely low. We were oversold, extremely oversold, but now we're extremely low. So that's a great sign in regards to the fact that we do have momentum to move us up to higher levels. The other great thing is we are so below our high-low MMA. It gives us plenty of reason to eventually break out of this downtrend and shoot up to the high-low MMA. So if we do manage to break the resistance, we should be able to explode, I think, at a very vigorous volume up to $90 to $100 within a couple of days. The main problem right now is whether or not we have the support and volume to break through this major descending wedge, which you can see I drew in red, and it has been following this for months now, all the way since June of 2015. We've been pretty much in this downtrend, trading lower and lower and lower, and haven't been able to break here. So what I called back on the 29th was we needed support and we needed consolidation, which is basically what the market had. We consolidated out sideways, which is what we needed, and eventually could potentially break through here. So we do have a bottom, which is a very strong bottom support at $60. And if we can hold this for a matter of time, we can be able to trade out sideways, eventually using this as a support. So we could anticipate a drop like this, but eventually that confirmation and a break above here, and eventually trading up high. You'll notice we do have wicks where we tried to break the downtrend and it didn't hold, well. So we're really looking right now for a daily candle to just close us ever so slightly above the downtrend, which would pretty much indicate a following rally to the higher levels. So right now, all the coins I do think are in a great buying opportunity for me. I do, and I said I've been dollar cost averaging. I bought Bitcoin at 10 grand and we're pretty much at 10 grand right now. So it's not really a concern. And similarly with Litecoin, I did buy fairly low. So I do think with this potential rally back up to $100, I will get a pretty good kickback and make a pretty decent amount of money off of that trade. Another thing which was a dead giveaway was Ethereum. So Bitcoin bottoming out was an okay benefactor, but Ethereum was the best one. Ethereum showed us a bottom right here. It showed us our bottom. The craziest thing, which as you guys can see, is this massive resistance right here. So we are currently in the process of retesting that, and if we do build up support, we should be able to break above here, hopefully break above here and eventually swing back up to our high-low MMA as high as 240 to as low as 213. But really, all these cryptos are undervalued. All of them are waiting for that volume to come into the market and eventually push the coin out of resistance up to as high as here. And I've been saying this the past couple of days because it's going to be true. It's going to come true. That's where we're headed up to. This downtrend is a pretty gruesome one. We were anticipating some sort of move here, a potential break right here. That fell through. So now we're looking for this retest, which should blow us up to as high as the $230 level. Now to wrap up today's episode with XRP, you'll notice XRP is in a descending wedge right here, which is almost complete. You notice we're trading outside of here, and if we do manage to break outside of this level right now, we should get enough volume to easily push us right up to this level, as high as 32 to 34 $0.05. So pretty much to wrap up today's episode, what we're looking at is all coins on the market, the really important ones, being undervalued. And if we do become undervalued, which we are, we should be able to blast off to higher levels, eventually retesting, the 32 to 34 cents, and eventually breaking out of that downtrend and heading up to these levels as high as here. And I think if we get that confirmation off Bitcoin or Ethereum, all the cryptos will rally up higher. Otherwise, that's going to sum up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.